Good evening. My name is Andres Castells Perez. Here's my ID. And today I will be discussing plagiarism, its types, effects, and how to avoid it. Now, before we start, let's define what is plagiarism. So, in a general context, plagiarism can be defined as taking other people's works, investigations, researches, or in terms of films, music, literature works, any type of intellectual property with their own naming and authors' rights on it without the proper permission or without acknowledging where that work is from or who else did it, created it, invented it. Not only this, but also with the very negative touch of presenting this document, this work of art, this research, this investigation as yours, as your own creation. In terms of morality and honesty, this can be considered maybe the lowest point in academics, maybe the lowest and the weakest points in terms of creativity or in artistic landscapes. Taking other people's work, years of researching, years of hard working, and making it through or making it look like it's your own creation. Is there an importance of being aware of plagiarism? I guess at this point, on this day and age, everybody knows what is plagiarism, everybody knows what are the consequences or what might be the consequences of committing plagiarism. But in a global perspective, being aware of these risks, these temptations of committing plagiarism, can also be taken on the opposite way, in the way of um, promoting and motivating students, individuals, to produce original work, or just the fact that maybe giving proper credit and acknowledging other people's work can contribute to their own, making their papers, making their research, making their investigation um, have a more academic weight. Um, Influencing your work can be something very effective from people that you admire, your role models, people that you look up to, but that's influencing. Plagiarism be the result of taking other people's work and making it pass like it's your own without proper credit. So being aware of it has a really big importance due to the fact that people should be aware that other people have taken into consideration years of experience, maybe trial and error, um, and they should have a proper credit or proper acknowledgement of their own work instead of other people taking it, stealing it, and maybe benefiting from it. Properly cite, properly quotation can result in a better academic performance in terms of students. This is all in academic fields. There are certain risks, obviously, that people are aware that you can get a zero, failing grades, you could get suspended temporarily, or in worst case scenario, you could get a permanent expulsion. In a social perspective, committing plagiarism can result in a dented reputation, um, and your credibility as a professional, as a student, as an individual can also be incredibly damaged. There are certain types of plagiarism that I will go through one by one. Copy pasting information without acknowledgement, as the name suggests, is when you take text from a source and you insert it in your work, and there are no quotations, there are no citing to the source, there are no references to it, And the example that I inserted is, for example, when taking results of a survey or statistics, something that took time to conduct, and then you put it on your text like it's your own research, your own survey, and that would be a very bad thing to do. Self or auto plagiarism, it's in the sense of resubmitting a work, an essay, a paper, or report without permission or proper citation. And although people might get confused with the idea that it's your own work, it's dishonest to present this as a new original piece of work. For example, resubmitting an essay you previously did of the same subject, but making it look like you just did it from scratch, from zero, looking it like it's brand new. Collusion plagiarism. Two students work on a piece of paper or in a document or an essay that they were supposed to do individually, but they did it together, and the final work, it's the same paper, the same document presented individually on their own. So the example clarifies this as two students working on an essay that they were supposed to do on their own, and at the end of the day, they present the same work, both students, to the teacher. So it's two people working on a document that you were supposed to do alone, individually. Cloning plagiarism, it's maybe one of the more serious ways of academic dishonesty. Like the name suggests, is literally duplicating a document and branding it with your name, similar to copy pasting. But a student takes a paper, an essay, or research from another student and masquerades it as their own creation. Mosaic plagiarism is when a person copies phrases, ideas, or sentences from different sources and blends them, mixes them into their own writing without proper citation. It's like taking many research and statistics and data from many sources, blending it in a strategically way, and making it look like it's a whole new document created from zero, but which is not. In terms of the name, Mosaic, because it has a lot of elements from many places, blended it all together, but those places, those sources have not been properly cited nor quoted, so it results in plagiarism. A remix plagiarism is when someone paraphrases content from multiple sources, paraphrasing, rewriting, reestablishing the same idea with your own words. But even though you are writing it with your own words, those are ideas and content from other people's work, so it will still result in plagiarism. Right? Example says that a student slightly paraphrases it, maybe rewrites the same idea with a couple of different words, or maybe giving it a slight different perspective. Um, but it's no credit is given, no proper citation, no quotation is given, no acknowledgement, so it results in plagiarism. Find and replace, like the name suggests, when you copy a text from someone and you find certain words and you replace certain words to make it look like a new structure, like a new meaning of it, but it shares the same ideas. It like the concept suggests, it may look different at first glance, but nevertheless it's still plagiarism. In applications like Word, you can have that, find and replace certain words, change them into synonyms, but it's still plagiarism because you're not properly citing the original work. And the last one, verbatim plagiarism, is copying text word for word exactly as it appears in the original source, but no quotations, no giving credit, or no acknowledging the original work. It may look like direct plagiarism and is considered very serious. Instead of quoting an idea or a conclusion, we delete the quotations and we make it look like it's our own creation. Finally, as a way to reflect, plagiarism can be prevented through education. We can make students aware of the risks and dangers of committing plagiarism in terms of ethics and morality. Students need to learn that committing plagiarism can result in a permanent damaged reputation and a loss of credibility. And we as teachers need to make students understand that other people's work is essential for effective learning and researching. There is nothing better than quoting and citing other people's works because your document and your paper um, tends to get a more serious perspective. You transform your research into something more broad, taking into consideration other people's works while properly citing and quoting, and it makes your investigation look much more complex instead of just an argumentative essay with your own ideas or your opinions. Instead of that, it has ideas from many places from the world. It is also our duty to promote a healthy and academic environment, making students understand that with proper time management, um, they can do things in advance and they won't be tempted to go to certain tools to commit plagiarism and 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 to get suspension and permanent expulsion and other risks that committing plagiarism beholds. Thank you for your time.